Hi guys, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button in the corner. And I will be doing a giveaway for all of my subscribers once I reach 1,000 subscribers. So to help me reach my first goal and in order to qualify, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Like and comment on my videos, and don't forget to share my videos. And then on my channel I share with you the DIYs I'm doing around my home, the DIYs I create for my own home decor or to give as a gift or for resale. And I share with you the process that I go through to make these items into beautiful treasures again. So let's get started and see what I worked on in today's video. So my first DIY here is a Christmas sign that I'll be making, and I'm using the back of a fall sign that I made. And if you'd like to see that project, I'll leave that in the description box. So I'm going to have two signs in one with this. So right here, my first step, I'm giving the sign 2 coats of black paint, and I'm going to let that dry in between coats, and I'm just going to keep the outside in the stained color. And once that is dry, I'm going to put my Let It Snow stencil on there that also has a snowflake. And the stencil that I'll be using today is called an Aura Mask 813, and that's a masking stenciling film, and it's a little bit stiffer, I guess, than your Oracle vinyl. It's not as pliable. So right here I'm just putting it on the mat just to stick it down and keep it in place, and I'm gonna weed it out now. So you'll see the snowflake and the Let It Snow that I'll be weeding out. And right here I'm just using a dental pick for my weeding tool. I don't have any Silhouette or Cricut tools, so I found this at a hardware store and it works perfectly fine. So if you don't have any tools, you could use something like that. And I've also seen these at the dollar store as well. So right here I'm just weeding out the Let It Snow. And guys, if you guys are interested in this beautiful stencil, I have just opened an Etsy shop, and I'm just, getting my digital files on there. So if you'd like this to make your own Let It Snow sign with a snowflake, go to my Etsy shop at OakWell Home and you'll find this. And you'll see at the end how beautiful it looks. And I'll leave that link in the description box as well. So right here I'm just putting the transfer tape on the stencil, and then I'm going to burnish that and transfer it to my sign. So right here I'm just measuring it out so everything's all centered up on the sign. And then I'm just going to apply 2 pieces of masking tape in the corner of the stencil, just so when I take the transfer tape off, I know where to place it again. So just kind of make an L with that masking tape. So as you're pulling the backing off the stencil, guys, just kind of press down and kind of pull it back on the slant. And as you can see, like sometimes some of the stencil tries to come up, so just press in those areas and just kind of pull it back slowly and on a slant. I find that is the best way to it works without getting any of the stencil up. So as you can see here, I'm placing the stencil in the corner of where that tape is now, and that way everything is kind of where it's supposed to be when I first measured it. So now I'm burnishing the stencil down with, I just have some card here that I use. I don't even have a burnishing tool. And then I'm just using my hands to just get that stencil down. And again, when you're pulling up the stencil, as you can see, it's coming up a little bit there, but just press down and just pull the transfer tape back slowly on a slant again, so nothing comes up. Then I kind of just smoothed that stencil down with my hands in the area where it needed to be smoothed down. So once I have that down, I'm going to apply a black coat of paint. And the reason for this is because it's going to give you less bleed through when you apply your different color paint on there. So I'm going to apply that first coat of black paint and let that dry, and then my next coat of paint will be the color that I want for my stencil, which is white. So now that my black paint has dried, I'm going to apply my white paint, and I'm using a white interior paint here. And I'm using a cosmetic sponge here that I'm going to use for my stenciling. I find these work really well. They're nice and dense, and they're really nice for doing the pounce method for your stenciling. So I apply 2 coats of white paint, and I let it dry in between coats. Here I'm just peeling back the stencil once it's dry, and this stencil is a little crispy, so it kind of breaks off into pieces in some spots. Now right here I'm just weeding out the rest of the stenciling film, and kind of missed one of the little spots there with my paint, so I just touched that up with a little artist brush. What do you think, guys? Doesn't that look awesome? What a great Christmas sign. And this is a sign you can leave out all winter too, because it just says let it snow. It doesn't really have to apply just to Christmas, so you can leave this sign out all winter. So again, if you'd like this stencil, you can head on over to my Etsy shop at OakWell Home and buy the digital download, and I think I have it listed for like $2.75 or something like that, and you get 3 files with that. So let me know in the comments, guys, what do you think of this sign and the snowflake stencil? For this next DIY, I'm going to be working on these coasters that I picked up at a thrift store. I think I got these at the Habitat for Humanity as well, and I showed these in my thrift haul video. So if you haven't seen that, I'll leave that in the description box as well. And I think I paid a few bucks for these. The colors were nice, but I don't know, maybe they would have been nice for summer, but I wanted to do a black and white botanical on these, so I painted them all up with an interior paint that I have, and I used a sponge brush there, and I actually had to do 3 coats of paint on these to cover up that red and blue print on there. So here I'm using a Tim Holtz botanical rice paper, and I cut that out with scissors. I did try that fabric cutter there as well, but I found the scissors worked best. So after I got those all cut out in the shape of the coasters, I applied some Mod Podge and put the paper on the Mod Podge, and then I just smoothed that out with a plastic bag. And right here I'm using a makeup brush for the Mod Podge. I find those are sometimes nice because they're softer, and especially when you're applying the Mod Podge on the top, and it doesn't rip the paper as easily. So as you can see there, I'm using a plastic bag just to kind of smooth it out once I have the first layer of Mod Podge on there. And after I have all the Mod Podge applied to all of these coasters, I do let them dry overnight, and I apply the second coat of Mod Podge the next day. And before I applied that second coat of Mod Podge, I sanded the edges to get that excess paper off there. So right here I'm applying that second coat of Mod Podge. Isn't that botanical print beautiful, guys? So these are going to be a Christmas gift for someone. I almost wanted to keep them for myself, but I have a lot of coasters already, so I'm going to let these go as a Christmas gift for one of my friends or family. But I absolutely love these. I might have to do a set for myself sometime. And I also did do a set of nesting tables in this rice paper, which turned out absolutely beautiful. The nesting tables were a red cherry color, and I painted them white and put this botanical rice paper on top, and they turned out absolutely beautiful. So I'll leave that video in the description box as well. So the final DIY today is another little sign here, and I picked this little sign up at the Habitat for Humanity as well. This was in my thrift haul video as well, and I only paid $1 for this, but I didn't really like the saying that was on it, so I painted the top black with an interior paint that I had, and now I'm using this white linen chalk paint in the Rust-Oleum brand on top. And I gave that a couple coats all over because I want to distress it back to the black a bit. So here I'm just using some sandpaper, and I'm going in between those slats on the top there just to distress it back to the black. Now this did take off some of the black paint to the wood, so I meant to seal the black paint in with some sealant, clear sealant, but I forgot to do that. So right here you see that I'm wet distressing it instead of using the sandpaper. And that worked fine. So I would, if you forgot to seal it in, I would do the wet distressing. So as you can see here, some of the black is showing through, which I really wanted. I wanted it to have that rustic look. And again, I'm using a dental pick, and this purple thing I have here, this is a nail polish holder that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and it is perfect for holding your weeding that you take out of your stencil there. It just sticks to that. So that's a little hack for you. So once I have all my stencil weeded out there, I'm going to apply that to my little sign and use some black paint for my stencil. Right here, I'm just burnishing on my transfer tape and just pulling the back slowly on a slant, just so none of the stenciling comes up. Here I'm just measuring it out and burnishing it down. Now I'm just pulling back my transfer tape on a slant. And I'm using a black acrylic paint here. And again, I'm using a cosmetic sponge. They work really well for stenciling. Now you could also apply some white paint before you apply your black paint. That way it'll give you less bleed through, which I meant to do, but I forgot. So I do get a little bit of bleed through, but not too bad. And I apply a light coat of black paint, let that dry, and then apply the second coat of black paint. So that's after my 2 coats, and this stencil did pull up a bit of my chalk paint, which I was not very pleased about, but I guess it gave that rustic look. So I think the next time I try this, I might spray some clear sealant on top of my chalk paint before I apply my my black paint, and maybe see if that keeps the paint down more. So here I'm just weeding out the remainder of the vinyl on my sign. So guys, you see the mistake I made there. When I applied the stencil, I made a note to myself, make sure you apply the stencil the proper way where the hook is, but I didn't. So I actually just took out that hook. I didn't really need it because there's enough room for it to hang on the wall by itself. So right here I applied a clear coat of wax to seal it in, to seal everything in. Doesn't that look beautiful? I love it. So this is going to be a gift for one of my friends. And if you like this stencil, I also have this on my Etsy shop as well as a digital file. So let me know in the comments, guys, what you think of this little sign that costs me less than $5. Well guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope the video gave you some inspiration for your next DIYs. Don't forget to like and comment on my videos. This helps the YouTube algorithm share my videos with more viewers. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for more videos. So until next time guys, have an awesome day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.